Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. Now I've learned quite a bit in my time away, if you'd like to say that. One of the main things that I've learned is that the Crystallizer does not work in the manner that I thought it worked. Ooh, that was close. And that it was very stupid of me to do what I just did. Well, not just did, more of placing it above a piece of netherrack and lighting on fire, which for some reason is not the most advisable solution to the way of actually working. Research, on the other hand, is a good idea on how to actually get this thing running. Now, I've learned that the Crystallizer works using a mod, well, is rather in a mod called Factorization. I've actually never ever used it before, but I am going to have quite a bit of fun actually figuring out how the blasted thing works. So it's going to be, well, quite interesting. I did some experimentation over the weekend and have learned a few nuances that will be required to get it working, not perfectly, mind you, but working enough in such a way that I will actually be able to do stuff with it. Now, without further ado, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need silver, which we have a lot of, thankfully, but we're also going to need to use some lead to get some of the more finer things in. Now, we can smelt it, pulverize it, induct it, or we can smelt it, which not many of them are that interesting of a way to do things. Pulverizer is probably what we're going to need to use to get everything pulverized, and it's going to require as much power as the maceration would have done. That said, I managed to get some stuff with the macerators, so we'll be able to get a bit more stuff. Now, let's do some calculations. It's going to do 8 per one of these. So if we use all, it's going to require, it's going to do 8 pulverizations per one of coal cokes. So if we throw 8 of these in here, it should provide enough power to get everything working. Now all that stuff will go into here and be useful and generally awesome. Now if we look at the power level right here, we are going to have to increase it and continue onwards like that. Now I don't think I have any coal whatsoever, so I'm probably going to have to go down deep and get some coal. We might as well use our miner's backpack, but we don't have any swords, so I'll make a sword, go down, hopefully I can get some stuff working, and then we'll be back when everything, at least a lot of it, is pulverized, which shouldn't take too long. Be right back. Okay, I think I have a sufficient amount of all the fun charcoal, coal, whatever the hell it is. And I just have to realize or figure out what I was planning to do with the blasted stuff so that we can get some of that working. Well, this is a sticky wicket, I must say. It is not exactly the most savory of solutions. So let's just throw this pulverized lead into there so we can actually get stuff working. And it might buy myself some time to figure out what the hey I was doing. Okay, one thing that I'm going to need to do is we're going to need to throw these extra seeds into our machines that are going to go over here. We're probably going to need to macerate it. That's probably what I was going to do. Well, if it was important, it'll come to me eventually. Don't need to worry about it too much right now, so let's go onwards. So, let's feed the pigs, or cows rather, because we're going to need quite a bit of that. So, you and you. And there's another one over here. Or is that you guys are creepy. Okay, I don't want you two mating because that'd just be a little too creepy. But we are going to need to get some more food with this, so let's get that. So here, one bit of food. Nom 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 nom. And there we go. So I'm gonna macerate some of this because I don't have any other current use for it, and I am horrible at memorizing what I needed to do stuff with, so worst comes to worst, I'm gonna have to get some more charcoal to do some more stuff. Wait a second, that's what I was doing it for. Okay, that makes much more sense. Okay, so let's look at our sulfuric acid recipe. That looks very odd. Sulfuric acid is made with coal, sulfur dust, and water, or 2 gunpowder, coal, and water. And we have enough gunpowder, so that's going to be sufficient in what we're going to actually need to do. Let's throw our extra wire up here. We're going to need to make a solar turbine right here, which is going to require a fan, glass, and a motor. A motor will require insulated coils, lead ingots, iron, and a magnet, which will require some lead wire, and a battery block, which requires... That's medium charge, that's full charge. And sulfuric acid with lead and iron. So we're going to need to make some more iron. So we're going to have to take the iron that we found. Gonna have to take that out and redo that instead of what we were doing before. So let's throw that in. That will be sufficient. We're getting much more of this fun pulverized lead stuff. And let's make some more of that lead. Where did I put the pulverized? There it is. Okay. That'll continue working, and we should be sufficiently prepared. Now, first off, we're going to need to make some lead wires, which will be needed in one of our other recipes. Let's look. Magnet is going to require lead wires, and the battery requires lead and iron. Now the sulfuric acid we're going to have to make as well, so we're going to need to make a water bottle. So where do we have a nice source of water? I think we found one, therefore we'll do that. And make this sulfuric acid with 1 piece of coal and 2 pieces of gunpowder. And it's not shaped, so we're good to go. Now with this, we're going to want to make a battery, which is going to require a lot of our iron dust that we are currently making. How much energy do we have? We have enough. Let's put another one of those in so that we should be good. Got that. We'll take that out. We'll take that and switcheroo and smelt that. And it looks like we got some extra silver dust from that, which is quite an interesting mechanic with this. And this is 1 megajoule a tick. It's going at like 1/4 of its power that it's supposed to. But we don't really want to spare too much energy on it. Okay, so our iron with our sulfuric acid and our lead will get us the wrong thing. Let's look. Lead, iron, and we have it in the wrong way. I guess so. Okay, battery block full charge. Now factorization uses an energy system that's called charge. So pretty much what it does is that it's kind of like a capacitor where it has almost 2 parallel plates where it stores the charge in the electric field of those 2 plates. So a voltage runs across it. It's not quite the same as a battery because you almost have to keep that charge, well, working all the time, but it's similar enough to get that comparison. Now, we're going to need to make 2 more iron, and we're going to need insulated coil, which is going to require clay. Now, I think the later recipes, basically we need 10 in total, so we're going to need to take the clay that we have, get 40 of it, turn them into clay blocks. Thankfully, we have a sufficient amount ahead of time to do all this. Now, we're going to need a lot more lead, unfortunately, it seems. This should be good enough for 3, but we are missing 1. So we're going to need to take the rest of our pulverized lead, throw it in the electric furnace, and that's going to take a bit more stuff. Thankfully, we do... why did I place that? And I think... do I use a wrench for this? No, I can just pick it up. Phew, that was close, that was close. That was close. Probably have too much burning in the Stirling engine, though. It won't take too much, I know that. Nah, I probably have too much. Oh well. Maybe I'm just overestimating things. I should have put 8 in there. That's probably the amount I put in. I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, so we're just going to work from there. So 6, let's wait for 4 more. Okay, we got our 4th extra one, so we'll be able to make the next electric coil. And what the hell am I doing? Yes, clay, that's what we need. So we got the other insulated coil, and we're going to need to make the motor now, but that's going to require a magnet and quite a bit of wire. So 7 of this, put this in, we'll magnetize a piece of iron. So here we go. This is now at half charge, or 59% charge. Now with this magnet, we'll combine it with more iron, more lead, and our insulated coil. And now we have our motor. All that we need next is the fan. The fan is going to require 5 iron. We only have 3, so that means, ooh, we are lucky. That means we are definitely lucky. We have a sufficient amount. This is going to take half a minute, but a minute to make all of them, so we'll have to wait for that. In the meantime, let's go over to our other thing, which is over here, our peat bog. We should have a sufficient amount to harvest a lot of this. So we have a lot of peat. This can be used as another source of our fuel. We're probably going to, well, we will need to refuel all of this peat and eventually have it quasi-automated. Maybe not fully automated quite yet, but this will be enough dirt to definitely help us later. We can get the rest of it later. We don't have to worry. That was close. We're going to need a lot more seeds than what we currently have. Gonna have to get something working to that effect. Maybe harvest some of these seeds so that we actually have a head start on the game. And you only gave me 1 seed. I am very disappointed. So that's done. And we'll work on that. I should probably make another furnace here. So once I get most of the stuff, when there's a lull in the action, I'll just make another furnace, and we should have a sufficient amount of everything else that we will need. Okay, so iron, check. Bring this iron together in a fan blade, check. And then combine it with a motor, glass, and we got a solar turbine. Now this is only half of the action, unfortunately. We're going to need a bit more stuff than just this solar turbine to get any sort of electrical charge to work. Now I'm thinking we're going to have a temporary station because I want to expand this, not expand, but more change our location eventually. So what I'm going to do is actually place the fan here. Now this fan is quite interesting in its dynamics. It requires an infinite water source right underneath it. So we're going to need to make an infinite water source. It's once again going to require 2 buckets of water. So we'll just grab it from our environment. That was a misplaced bucket, so we're going to have to scoop that up again. There and there. So we'll place this, got that, and now it's taking water directly from the infinite water source. Now this thing is actually powered by mirrors that reflect the sun onto the solar blade so it can start spinning. Now we need a lot of silver and glass panes. It's going to be a pain. Okay, so first we're just going to put a temporary thing over here, and we'll have what it eventually runs to right here. We're going to need some more milk to put a bucket of stuff in. Milk. I want milk, not that. Okay, anyone want to face behind me? You're too young. Okay, come on. And I have to be too close for comfort. Yoink. Okay, So let's just place our lime dye in here, and we don't have our lime dye with us, do we? Sigh. Okay, lime dye. Protocol activated. Let's just put it all over here. Now we got some lime dye, which we'll work with. Now, a heater is what we need to actually get this crystallizer going. The crystallizer process is that this needs to be heated up to a certain temperature and then needs to be left cool. So I need something that uses the energy from this solar fan when I get it working by getting a heater. So this furnace heater will require many more insulated coils, so that's going to require a lot more lead than probably what I have with me right now. So we're going to have to continue that cooking, and that's going to take quite a bit of time. So since we have a lull in the action, we might as well get some other stuff working, at least in a temporary fashion. And we do have enough, so I have more iron than I thought. That will be good, because we're going to need quite a bit of iron to get everything going. Charcoal here, charcoal there, charcoal everywhere. Okay. And we have a lot more time. Okay, so we should have 2 left in there. We had too many. So I'll just take those out. I see what happened. Okay. So that should be a sufficient amount to power the pulverizer for the rest of the mount. So what do we need to make? We need to make another electric furnace. That will help expedite the process. So we need another iron furnace, which is going to, funnily enough, require a furnace. But in the meantime, we do have another furnace that we can use, which we are going to actually have to use, so no point being around the bush. So let's be slightly inefficient since we need this to be working all the time. So 2 pieces of charcoal, and let's actually have only 1 piece of charcoal for the temporary, foreseeable future, etc. And we're going to need to wait silently by this for it to actually give us what we want. And there we go. Okay, almost left me hanging. That would not have been very nice, Mr. Furnace. Not nice indeed. So we're going to require a lot of stuff from that. Now, do we actually have any refined iron for the rest of the stuff that we're going to need? We have normal iron, not exactly refined iron, so we're going to need to heat that up when we actually get this stuff working. So let's make our other electrical circuit. So we're going to need our copper once again. So if I actually go to the right chest, I might be able to find some stuff. So 1, 2, 3, and we got our redstone, which we'll need. We're going to need to make another integrated circuit. So that's going to require the insulated copper cable, and I believe I do have some extra. What do we have here? We had coal. We didn't have to go mining out coal. That would have been a lot more useful if I happened to know it at that particular time, but apparently I didn't, so I'm going to have to move onwards. And I'm going to need 1 extra cable just because of placing it down right here. Now we're probably going to want to move our extractor. So if we have a wrench to move it, we can do that, but since we do not, we might as well make one. So we'll need to make some more of this bronze, like so. Bring it over here, bring it over there, bring it around right here, and make a wrench, which is going to require this. And if I made another wrench already, so help me, I don't care. Ah, you son of a gun. Ah. So now I'm gonna have to make another extractor. That just sucks. Oh well. Random number generator did not like me today, though I guess I can't really blame it for not liking me. Okay, so we're going to need to refine this. Why am I continually destroying my stuff? Okay, there we go. So electric furnace we'll actually place here. We'll place the extractor there just to to be nice and later. And oh my gosh, why are you out of power? It doesn't go in there, does it? Unfortunately not. Okay, so we're going to need to temporarily turn this off. I can tell we're going to only want the one that's in there. Can I get it? Yes, okay, there we go. So now that that's done, it'll only do one more process and then it'll stop. Yes, and okay. Now we did waste some energy when we did that little swapping maneuver. And where did my lead go? It is in here. There we go. And we have our lead. Thank you very much. We got 53 lead. That should be almost a sufficient amount. It probably is. Therefore, we'll just refine 2 bits of iron, and then we'll get our furnace down. Then we'll continue out with the main task at hand. I know that's the wrong chest, but I need to get this working. Okay, so we got that. Going to need 2 bits of redstone, like so, with our cables that we already have right here. Electric circuit. Now we're going to need to make another furnace. I know I could have taken the one that was on the ground, but who cares? Iron furnace, electronic circuit, 2 redstone, and we have another electric furnace to use the energy that we currently have. Okay, now that we have that semi-efficient, we can throw in the remainder of our pulverized lead. This is still going, so we still have a lot of pulverized lead that we need. Huh. Interesting. So I guess we'll let that build up power. It's a little wasteful, unfortunately. Maybe we can pulverize something else in the meantime. Lead! Hooray! We have something for it to use, and it's going to go at a remarkably fast pace because it has some energy in it already. Fun. Okay, you go in there. And let's not use any more energy because we're going to need it eventually in a timely manner, so we don't want to just burn through the entire reserves that we have currently. Okay, so heater. Heater blocks. Ah, yes, I remember what it requires. It's going to require lead. Funny enough, I wonder why we were making all that lead. Might be because of that. Okay, I think I stored it up here. Yes, I did. Okay, so we do have enough lead, thankfully. We almost have just enough lead. Ooh, that is very close. So, we'll have these, we'll have this, and we have our furnace heater. So this furnace heater acts quite interestingly with this and other furnace. It requires pretty much 5 mirrors worth of energy. And obviously nothing will work with it currently because it does not have any energy whatsoever. However, we can have this battery store up the energy. So if we bring this here so that the battery is between the heater and the other thing, like so, it'll actually power from this. So it'll start the heating process and eventually we'll get it to regenerate through that. And it'll be awesome. So now once this is heated up, it's going to require 20 minutes for it to actually go anywhere. So that's going to take a long time to actually do anything. So we're going to need to do other stuff, pretty much preoccupy ourselves with other things that we're going to need to do. But we are going to need to make those mirrors first, so we might as well get those started. So we're going to make some glass panes. And we're going to take a lot of our silver, and we'll make 5 for now. Maybe later we can make more, but 5 is a sufficient amount. So 5 mirrors. Now it's quite interesting how these work. It actually tracks the sun, tries to find a angle where it works, or where it actually finds one of those solar fans. And obviously it needs to be within a certain distance, and then it conveys the energy. So what I could theoretically do, hint hint for the future, is have glass on top of them, over them, and it'll convey all the stuff anyways. So let's see, get this working. And that should give enough energy for it to work. We can check that by, instead of having the battery, we can take this out and put this here, and I broke my pick. And that is getting energy. Good. So we'll just take this wire out, and it is working, so we don't have to babysit it. And then we can go onwards and do some more interesting stuff than we are currently doing. Okay, so we're going to need to put this stuff away. Eventually we'll upgrade to copper chests or the like, but we're going to need to get some more sustainable forms of energy. So what I'm thinking with this remaining bit of redstone and iron, we're going to want to make a tree farm, which is going to require a lot of our dirt that we have. Do we have enough dirt? We probably do. But we're going to need to continue our peat stuff. But speaking of peat, we can use the stuff that we currently have, the peat, to make some peat-fired engines. And we do not have any cobblestone, unfortunately. We don't have any cobblestone. What happened? Oh, look, we got cobblestone. Who would have thunk it? Okay, now that I completely made an idiot of myself, as per usual, we can bring this around, make a piston. And now we're going to, actually, we're probably lacking more dirt, wood than anything. Yes, I know, there is a forest, though. There. Blech, I can't talk. There is a forest there, so I can go over there to get some more wood. So I think I'm going to need to do that. Maybe see if no, I'm not going to bring an axe. I just need a bit of wood to actually start off. And then we should be good. So go get a tree's worth of material. Maybe feed a few cows because they're nice and lovey-dovey. Probably there's a little, you know what, happening back there. But let's just run up and get some stuff. Now, I've noticed that probably the main problem I'm having right now is that I need so many different machines to do so many different stuff to actually work. So, I'm probably saying that horribly, but pretty much means that I am being very inefficient with my time, trying to power a lot of different machines pretty much at the same time, which is not exactly the best thing to do. And this is out of energy, and this is full on energy, so we can do some quick pulverizations when we have the chance. What can we pulverize? What type of ores do we have to pulverize? It doesn't really matter. Let's just heat up our lead. And actually, we cannot heat up our lead because we kind of don't have anything to heat up. It's a curse, I know. Okay, so I'll just get those fired stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Let's make our gears. We're going to need to make some gears. And we're going to need to make a peat-fired engine. I think one shall be sufficient for now, and that's going to require copper ingots. So we're going to require to make some copper gears, which are pretty much made similarly to other gears that we have. So a piston, our glass, and some extra copper will give us one peat-fired engine. Now we're going to need to eventually go out and get some more dirt, but currently we do have enough dirt for this. Now I think I'm going to take away this pool, eventually fill it up, so that we can have our wood, not our wood, that's not exactly what we were making. Yes, basically our forest stuff to go there. So we have our peat bog and turbary, that's what we'll need eventually, but we can make our automatic tree farm eventually, but we're not going to really make it automatic for now. We might as well just set up the initial area, or we can just, you know, make a standard tree farm in the meantime, so we don't need to worry too much about all of the other specifics. We do have a lot of birch saplings, so let's just go over there, make a temporary tree farm. Temporary in the fact that it's not going to work all the time. And then we should be good. Now, let's see. We're going to want a boundary. And I'm thinking we're going to want to... How do we have it split up here? We have it split up by 1, so I'm thinking having it split up by 1 here as well is a good idea. So let's plant a bit of dirt and kind of cave into place. And we'll just plant them so that they can make up their own minds of when they want to grow. A little inefficient, I know, but it's what we're going to do for now. Just as temporary stuff, because we are going to need some more stuff later. Okay, I am not conveying the information very well, so I'm just going to shut up and plant. One here. Just a simple one like this should be good. Actually, we're going to need this here instead. And then once more for good luck. 1, 2, 1, 2, good. Those will grow, will prosper, and then we'll kick a little ass. Okay, so our turbine we might as well place down and put our peat-fired engine next to. Peat bog and our turbine. Do we want to power our peat bog first or our turbine? The peat bog automatically places stuff. The turbine automatically harvests it. So I think we want to do our... we're going to need to place down our peat bog anyways first, so we might as well get that done. Where are we going to need to? We're going to need to count how many are here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15. So 15, and that means that there's a radius of 7. Well, a bounded box radius. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the center is right here, so that means our turbine, our peat bog goes there. And how are we going to line it up? So we'll have something extracting. It'll go down like that. Yeah, we'll have it go like this. So we'll place this peat-fired engine here. It'll automatically harvest everything and eventually put it into an adjacent chest. We're going to need that adjacent chest, so let's get our wood right here. And I do not want a button, so I won't make a button. And where is it? Yes, there's our chest. We'll have a temporary chest to work with. We'll need another lever. I am horrible at making levers. I should probably make like 52. Like that would ever happen. And then we'll just put this peat in here and start the harvesting. And it should automatically harvest the stuff, replacing it with dirt. Now the dirt eventually will be replaced by the peat bog itself when we do have some bog earth for, and that grew rather quickly, didn't it? So we'll get that going, and we're going to need to eventually harvest some more stuff later, and this is obviously not a sufficient circuit because it's just throwing all the energy into the battery and it's not transmitting it well, or it probably requires more than 5 solar panels. I'm going to have to read how many it requires. It's not going to require the heater all the time, so we might as well remove that at our own discretion. I think is going to be now, actually. So make a cheap little pickaxe right here. Destroy the heater. We'll just make the battery charge up because we're going to need some charging to happen, and eventually this is going to crystallize and make, I think it's 2 slime balls per lime die, so that's going to be a total of 10 slime balls, which should be sufficient. And if we look down, we can already see the slime balls crystallizing down in the milk concoction, and it shall be good. Ha 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 ha. So we're probably going to need to make some more bog earth. Haha. Sorry, I had to continue. So we're going to need some more tin cells. Yes, that's what I need to say. So we're going to require some more of the tin that we have. But what we can do is probably make a squeezer with apples and make some mulch with that and use the carpenter recipe instead. That does destroy some of our stuff. So for instance, we'd run out of sand/dirt eventually. But considering that we need more sand than dirt, if we were to just exchange some of the stuff, that shouldn't be too much of a problem anyways. Speaking about not too much of a problem, we might as well plant out a bunch more of our seeds that we have them automatically grow like they are doing so currently. And we will have enough wheat probably to make some more food. Maybe we can do some more stuff with it later, but I think we're good to go. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. What I'm hoping to do is maybe we can go out, get a bit more clay, make more bricks, and perhaps get some sort of production chain with the coke oven. But I'm thinking the first thing we'll want to do is go out and make some stuff with our slime balls. Mainly something that requires steel. WayofTime here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.